Please read the problem statement.
Okay. Two blocks A and B of mass 4 kg and 5 kg respectively are connected by a cord which passes over pulleys as shown. A 3 kg collar C is placed on block A and the system is released from rest. After the blocks have moved 0.9 meter, collar C is removed and blocks A and B continue to move. Determine the speed of block A just before it strikes the ground.
Yes, so we already established in the previous class that the system as a whole, that means A, C and B as a whole is acted upon only with conservative forces, and that is gravity. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so therefore what we are going to do is we are going to split this motion into two parts, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. From 1 to just before 2, the collar is in contact with block A. From just after 2 to 3, the collar has lost the contact with block A. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so therefore T1 plus V1 is equal to T2 plus V2 just before the block A, just before the collar is held arrested at D. Are you with me? This is the first equation. And second equation, T2 plus V2, this is without collar. That means just after the collar has been arrested at D is equal to T3 plus V3. This is the equation that we are supposed to use. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let us have a look at path 1 to 2. So path 1 to 2 is with the collar. So that means it is just before 2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what is the equation that we are going to use? T1 plus V1. So we have to calculate T1 of a system and V1 of a system. What is the system? System composes of blocks A and B, collar C, and a string. String is massless. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So T1 is equal to T1 of block A and C plus T1 of block B. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
When I say 1, 1 is the this position, shown position at which the system starts from rest. As the system is starting from rest, therefore kinetic energy is associated with all the blocks and collar is going to be 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So T1 is equal to 0. Now let us look at what is V1. V1 is the potential energy of the system when it is occupying position number 1. So at position number 1, it is summation of potential energies of block A and collar C plus some potential energy of potential energy of block B. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us consider this point as reference. So with this reference, and we will always look at the bottom surface of all the members. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
We will assume that the entire object is concentrated as a particle at the bottom surface of uh, all these objects. So now if I were to write down the potential energy associated with block A, what should I write? It will be mgh. What is m of block A? M of block A is 4 kg. 4
4
multiplied
kgs.
by 9.81 multiplied by lower not meniscus, sorry, lower surface. So it is 1 plus 0.6 with
1.6.
reference to a reference surface. So 1.6. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the potential energy associated with the collar? So it is 1 plus 0.6 plus 0.9, that is 1.9 multiplied by 3 kg multiplied by 9.81. Happy? Please cross verify the calculation if it is correct. Is it 118.701? Please let me know. Any one of you do the calculation and let me know, then we will proceed. Is the calculation correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us go ahead. T1 plus V1, therefore we have got is 118.702. Now let us write down what is T2 plus V2. So what is position number 2? Yes, Vaidhi, I think there is some disturbance. You can mute. Yeah. So what is position number 2? Position number 2 corresponds to this block occupying this position, and the collar has just touched the floor at D. So therefore the caller is just about to get arrested. That is position number 2. So T2 plus V2 we have to write down, but this is with caller because the caller is yet to get this yet to get detached from block A. So T2 plus V2 must be equal to 118.701. What is the unit? Unit will be in Newton meter. Now, we will also have a look at the KRB PC now. Why? It will be clear in a while. So if I call this as this, I take if I take this as reference and I call this as YA and this as YB, then what is the equation? The length of the string must remain preserved. So YA plus this constant portion plus YB must be constant. So that constant goes on other side and you get the expression YA plus YB equal to constant, indicating VA plus VB is 0 and therefore VA is equal to minus VB. So we have now the relationship between VA and VB. Now let us write down kinetic energy of the entire system when the block A has occupied position number 2, the collar is yet attached to block A and it is about to get separated. So what is the potential, what is the kinetic energy? Half MAVA square plus half MB square, but VB is minus VA. So I will substitute minus VA here, plus half MCVA square itself, because till this time the block A and block C are traveling together. So whatever is the velocity of block A, same is the velocity of block C. Therefore, kinetic energy at position number 2 when the collar is about to get detached from block A can be written as this. And I will substitute now the values. MA is 4, MB is 5 and MC is 3. So 4 by 2 plus 5 by 2 plus 3 by 2 into common term is going to be VA square. So it becomes 6 VA square. अगर किसी को computational mistake ध्यान में आए तो immediately बता देना. So now this is T2. We have computed the value of T2. Now let us compute the value of V2. V2 is the potential energy at position number 2. It is summation of potential energies associated with block A plus block A, block B and collar C in position number 2. So what is the potential energy associated with block A in position number 2? So this surface, this height will now be 1 minus 0.3. So this is going to be 0.7. So 4 into 0.7 into 9.81. What is the potential energy associated with block B at that time? As the block has moved down, by 0.6 meter, as this surface has moved down by 0.6 meter, this surface must have come up by 0.6 meter. So therefore the potential energy associated with block 2 is going to be 5 into 0.6 into 9.81. अगर किसी को डाउट है तो unmute yourself and let me know. Meanwhile, Kunal, can you unmute yourself? Kunal. Plus, let us write down the potential energy associated with block C. So what is the potential energy associated with block C? Block C is resting here in position number 2. So that is 1 meter is the height and block C is of 3 kg. So plus 3 into 1 into 9.81. This is the potential energy associated with the system at position number 2. So let us try to find out how much it is. 4 into 0.7 into 9.81 plus 5 into 0.6 into 9.81 plus 3 into 1 into 9.81. So that turns out to be 316.2645. Is that right? Let me check. 4 into 0.7 into 9.81. Yes. Plus 5 into 0.6 in, okay, 0.6 into 9.81. I missed the plus sign. Yeah, 86.328. So this turns out to be 86.328. And now it's easy. T2 plus V2 has to be equal to 118.701. So what is T2? T2 is 6 times VA square plus velocity of block A. So we will call it as velocity of block A when it is at position number 2. So comma 2. So I will introduce this notation 2 here. So 6 VA 2 square plus 86.328. This has to be equal to 118.701. So therefore the value of velocity of block A at position number 2 is going to be, let me calculate, 118.701 minus 86.328, whatever is the answer, that divided by 6, and whatever is the answer, square root of that. So that turns out to be 0.948. Please do the calculations. If there is a mistake, please let me know. Meter per second. 118.701 minus 86.328. Yes. So this divided by 6, square root of answer. Yes, that's correct. 0.948 meter per second. So when the block A has reached this position, collar C is about to get separated from block A. At that time, the velocity of block A is 0.948. Now let us analyze uh, the motion of the block from motion of the system from 2 to 3, and this is without collar. 2 to 3 without collar. So we have to write down this as V2 plus T2, but this is without collar. This must be equal to V3 plus T3. So let us first calculate V2 without collar. V2 without collar is going to be equal to 0.7 into 4 into 9.81. So that is going to be V2 of block A plus V2 of block B. That means potential energy associated with block A when it is at position number 2, and potential energy associated with block B when it is in position number 2. So that is going to be equal to mgh for first block. So 4 into 9.81 into 0.7 plus potential energy associated with block 2 in position number 2. This would have risen by 0.6. So 0.6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 9.8. So let us try to find out how much is this. 4 into 9.81, 4 into 9.81 into 0.7 plus 0.6 into 5 into 9.81. This turns out to be 56. 56.898. This must remain preserved. Sorry, now let us calculate V2, sorry, T2 without collar. T2 without collar. So T2 without collar is potential energy associated with block A at position number 2, potential energy associated with block B at position number 2. So this is going to be equal to half mass of block A, that is 4 kg, multiplied by velocity of block A at position number 2. That, however, is going to be 0.948. So this is 0.948 bracket square, plus potential energy associated with block number 2 is mass of block B, that is half into 5 into its velocity. So its velocity is minus VA. We have already derived that expression. VA is equal to minus VB. So VB is equal to minus VA. So therefore it is minus 0.948 bracket square. So let us compute this quantity. So this turns out to be 0.5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 0.948 bracket square plus 0.5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 0.948 bracket square. 0.5 into 4 into, yes, 0.5 into 5 into 0.94. That's correct. So that turns out to be 4.044. This is in Newton meter. This is also in Newton meter. So therefore T2 plus V2 without collar. T2 plus V2 without collar. This is equal to 156.898, 56.898 plus 4.044. So let us do that. 56.898 plus 4.044. So that turns out to be 60.942. 60.942. Again in Newton meter. This needs to be preserved. So let us now calculate T3 plus V3. That has to be equal to 60 into, sorry, 60.942. Now let us calculate V3. V3 will be equal to V3 of block A plus V3 of block B. So you can imagine when the block A has reached the ground, block B will be lifted by the same amount. So when block A has reached the ground, that means it has traveled 1.6 meter. This lower surface of B would have traveled up by 1.6 meter. So therefore, potential energy associated with block A is 0 as it has touched the ground. So block A ka potential energy is going to be 0. But block B's potential energy will be 5, which is its mass, G, that is 9.81, multiplied by 1.6, as the block B would have been above the reference by 1.6 meter when block A touches the ground. So this multiplied by 1.6. So what is the value of V3? Let us quickly calculate. The value of V3 then turns out to be 5 into 9.81 into 1.6. So that turns out to be 74.48. 74.48. Have we made mistake somewhere? T3 5 into 9.81 into 1.6. That's correct. 5 into 9.81 into 1.6. That is correct. Okay. V2 plus T2 without collar. So let us look at that. T2 without collar is half into 4 into 0.948 square plus half into 5 into 0.948 square Okay. So here, while writing down T2 and potential energy,
Sir, can you show the calculation of VA2?
which one?
VA2.
This one? This one, right?
Yes.
So 4 into
Sir, the under root 1.
which one?
Sir, scroll up just a little.
This one?
This, yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, we are getting it as 2.322.
Acha, so have I made some mistake here? Let me check. 118.701.
Sir, I guess there is some mistake.
Where?
Calculation mistake, I think, sir.
Where?
So because my answer coming out to be 2.32.
Yes,
That's
sir, we
what
are
others
getting
are saying.
2.32.
So let me check. 32.37. 32.37 divided by 6. 5 point. Yeah. I have made a mistake here. Correct. How much you are getting? 2.32, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
also got it the same. I don't know how did I manage to make the same mistake twice, but anyway, it is 2.32 meter per second, right? So here we are going to have this replaced by 2.32, and this is minus 2.32, 2.32 and minus 2.32. So how much is that? Now tell me. That is 0.5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2.32 bracket square plus 0.5 multiplied by 5 into 2.32 bracket square. So is it 24.22? Just cross verify. 20. I got it as 24.22.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then once this becomes 24.22, this quantity also will change. 24.22. So let me do that. 56.898 plus 24.22. That turns out to be 81.118. Am I right? 81.118. Is it correct? Please unmute and let me know so that we can proceed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is V3 now, and therefore we must have T3 is equal to 81.118 minus 74.48. So that turns out to be 81.118 minus 74.48. So that is 6.638 Newton meter. This should be T3. But what is T3? T3 is summation of kinetic energy of block A at position number 3 plus kinetic energy of block B at position number B. So kinetic energy of block A will be half into its mass, that is 4 multiplied by VA square, VA at position number 3 ka square, plus half into block B's mass, but VB is minus VA, so it is going to be minus VA at position number 3 bracket square. So therefore I can take VA at position number 3 common, VA square common, into bracket I will have 4 by 2 plus 5 by 2. So that is 9 by 2, and this must be equal to 6.638. So now can you solve for VA at position number 3? It will be square root of 6.638 divided by 9 multiplied by 2. Just let me know how much is this. Square root of 6.638 into 2 divided by 9. Is it 1.21?
Yes, sir.
So velocity of block A when it is going to hit the ground is going to be 1.21 meter per second. Are you with me? Chalo. So with this, we are closing the unit titled work energy principles, and now we are going to move towards impulse momentum principle. So now for this, I want someone to unmute yourself so that we can have a discussion and we can go ahead. Can someone volunteer? Please don't waste time in this. Neil, can you unmute yourself? Neil Tamankar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us, with this impulse momentum principle, we have already discussed in lab session, but let us quickly revise it. So as per the Newton's second law, if I take algebraic sum of all the forces, what do you get? Tell me. It must be equal to rate of change of momentum with reference to time. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, mind you, these are vector quantities. So in work energy principles, we were dealing with scalar quantities. So therefore, we used to get the magnitude of velocities and everything. Direction was never the outcome of work energy principles. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Direction you had to be sure. कौन से direction? For example, this block A is going to move down. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. Only its speed could have been evaluated using work energy principles. Happy?
Yes.
Now, in impulse momentum principle, however, we are dealing with vectors on either side. Summation of vectorial sum of all the forces acting on a body must be equal to rate of change of momentum with reference to time, where the momentum also is a vector or directed quantity. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now I will rearrange these terms. Summation F bar dt, happy,
Yes, sir.
must be equal to change in momentum. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, let us say that this dt is t2 minus t1. So that means you are writing down this principle from time t equal to t1 to t2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So then dt becomes equal to t2 minus t1. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So this dt being a scalar quantity, it can go inside the summation, and then you will have summation f1 bar dot dt plus f2 bar dot dt up to fn bar dot dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If there are n forces acting on a body, f1 bar up to fn bar, then summation f1 bar dt, summation f bar dt will be equal to f1 bar dot dt plus f2 bar dot dt
Plus
plus
F2.
f3 bar dot dt plus fn bar dot dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So what you see on left hand side is summation of impulses of all the forces. By definition, we define f1 bar into dt as impulse of, as impulse is a impulse of, is impulse of force F1 over time T1 to T2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So by definition, F1 bar by dt, F1 bar into dt is the impulse of force F1 bar over time T1 to T2. What is the direction of F1 bar by F1 bar into dt? dt being scalar quantity, the direction of this impulse is same as direction of F1 bar. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So you have to understand impulse of a force is a vector quantity. It has two things, magnitude and direction. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the direction of impulse of a force is in the direction of the force itself. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to define something called as impulsive force. Impulsive force. Are you with
Sir,
me?
just a minute. It's raining outside. I'll just check the windows. Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can continue.
So now let us talk about what is impulsive force. Now imagine that uh, there is a impact between two bodies. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This body was traveling with velocity v1, this was traveling with velocity v2, and there was an impact, let us say.
Okay.
Huh? During this impact, the bodies were in contact for very small duration of time. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Let me say that time is dt. Dt is the time of impact or duration of the impact. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Of impact. Now, let me consider one of these bodies. So I will consider body number 1. Are you with me?
Yes, yes, sir.
And I will show all the forces acting on this body during this time of impact or duration of impact. So can you tell me what are the forces? So one of the force is mg. Do you agree with me?
Gravitation. Yes.
Yeah. Where m1 is the mass of first object. So it is m1 times g is the first force. And the second
Yes.
force that was acting was impact force. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Are you with me? And
Yes, sir.
just for the sake of understanding here, we will say that this impact force is not time varying. Let us say it is constant. We know that it is not
Okay.
so, but let us say it is constant. Are you with me?
Yes.
So if it is Fy, so can you tell me what is the summation of impulses of all the forces on this object during the impact? This is how much. So what I have to say is this is minus m1g. It is acting in y direction. So let me call
Yes.
this as y. Let me call this as x. Aja, Neil,
Sir,
when
I
you
had
are
one question.
yeah, go ahead.
Sir, we are talking about the impact. So here the impact of the two bodies is in free space, or if suppose if both these bodies, they are rolling bodies, for example, and they are on ground, and on the ground they're rolling and they're having an impact, then the friction with the ground should also be considered.
Correct.
So
So
is it
no.
a free space?
Yeah, it is. Let us say it is in vacuum.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Are you with me? So there are
Yes.
only two forces acting on this body during the impact, and that is m1g and Fy. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
What is the impulse of m1g? Tell me. m1g multiplied by I cap, sorry, j cap,
J cap.
negative sign because m1g is acting in downward direction, multiplied
Downward
by
direction.
d. Do you agree
D.
with me?
Yes, sir.
This is the impulse of its self weight during the time of impact. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And what is the impulse of Fi? So it is going to be Fi into dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Happy?
Yes, sir.
And what is its direction? It is minus I cap.
Minus I cap.
So this is the summation of uh, impulses of all the forces are acting on a body. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Now we will differentiate now between a normal force and impulsive force. If you look at this m1g, it was existing even before the impact. It continued to exist during the impact. Whereas when the two bodies had an impact, at that time Fy came into the existence. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So observation number 1, if Fy came into the existence only for a short duration of time dt. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Short duration. That is the first thing that needs to be observed. Second thing, if you measure this magnitude of Fy in comparison with mg, Fy will be significantly greater than mg. Are you with me? You can
Yes,
do
sir.
this through an experiment. So whenever a body is acted upon by a very large force for a very short duration, such kind of force we call it as impulsive force. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So what is impulsive force? Impulsive force is a force that comes into the existence on a body for a very short duration, and during that duration, and its magnitude is very large. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Such forces we call them as impulsive forces. So when we are studying the body subjected to impulsive forces, for example, when you are looking at the dynamics of a ball which shoots out after the shot has been delivered. So in that case, that ball is under the action of two forces. One is its self weight, and second is the impact that it has received from the bat. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So in such cases, you will observe that M1G is going to cause a very small amount of impact, a very small amount of impulse, and that can be neglected in the analysis. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So whenever the body is subjected to a impulsive force, most probably all other forces and their impulses can be neglected in the analysis. Keep this in mind. Happy?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the two things that we have discussed now, and based on that, we are going to solve this problem. So can you read the problem statement for me?
Just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Problem 76, sir.
Yes.
Okay. A light train made of two cars travels at 45 miles per hour. Car A weighs 18 tons and car B weighs 13 tons. When the brakes are applied, a constant braking force of 4,300 lb is applied to each car. Determine first the time required for the train to stop after the brakes are applied, and second the force in the coupling between the cars while the train is slowing down.
So we have solved similar problem. Do you remember?
Mm, yes, sir.
There was a cab and a trailer. If you remember this problem, there was a cab. Do you remember this? And there was a coupling in between. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So we had also calculated the force between the coupling, but at that time the narrative was how much time, how much distance does this car and trailer travel just before coming to rest? Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So their distance was asked, and therefore we followed work energy principle. But here the time required for the system to come to the rest has been asked, and therefore we are now going to follow impulse momentum principle, which involves time. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
That is the first observation. Now we will solve this problem in tomorrow's class, but what we will do is we will draw the free body diagram of this assembly or this system so that we can apply the impulse momentum principle. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let us call this as time t equal to 0 when observer starts observing the motion,
Start, sir.
and at time t equal to t1 the system would have come to rest. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So both these cars, their speeds would have been reduced to 0 miles per hour at this time. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now let us draw the free body diagram. So 18 tons means how many kgs? 18,000 kg. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So 18,000 kg into 9.81. This is the force acting on these cars. Then here 13,000 kg
Into
multiplied
9.8.
by 9.81. Happy?
Yes.
Okay. Now braking force of 4500 has been 4300 pound is applied on each car. Are you with me?
Yes.
So this force we need to convert it in kg, that we will do, but this is applied on each car. So total force is twice of 4300 pounds. Are you with me?
8,600.
So this is the free body. These are the forces acting on this system from time t equal to 0 to time t equal to t1. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, do you see any impulsive force in these forces?
Mhm.
There is no impulsive force.
No impulsive force, because both the objects, they are moving the same direction and both are applying brakes at the same time. So maybe
Yes.
a situation of impulsive force may occur at a situation if the car which is moving first rather than the second car, if the first car applies more stronger brake, then only a slight situation of impulsive force can occur, because at that time the car is slower compared to that, so impact from opposite direction may take place in
Yes,
this situation.
absolutely. So
In this
therefore,
situation, this is not possible.
in this situation, there is no impulsive force. Therefore, we cannot neglect impulses of any of the forces. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
We have to consider impulses of all the forces. And we have missed one thing, and that is normal reaction NA
Yes.
here and NB here. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So these are the forces which are acting from time duration t equal to 0 to t1, and we need to compute their impulses. Happy?
Yes, sir.
To solve this problem. So with this, we will stop here today and we will take this problem forward in the next class. There are few interesting problems that we are going to solve. For example, this is the most interesting problem that we will solve using impulse momentum principle. And then you will understand the power this principle has. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us stop here today. Use the same link for marking the attendance.
Sir,
अगर
can
किसी
you,
को doubt है,
sir, can you please upload the lecture boards on Google Classroom as well?
yeah, I will do that.
Sir, thank you.